Alright, so we are going to be, I believe, three-manning a Red Khezu. We just need to wait for our next teammate to join. Maybe we can get a room of 4. Red Khezu is one of those monsters that I feel that I've fought quite a lot recently in this game. Well, I suppose I haven't really been hunting anything recently in this game, but what I mean by that is that when I do play this game, I feel like Red Khezu is the kind of monster that I'm often fighting. So hopefully this doesn't end up being too boring for you guys if you've seen it before. But anyway, I will see you guys once we have our group together, and we will go on the hunt. Alright, looks like we are ready to depart. I believe we will be going to the Kokoto Swamp. As you can see, Vertigo is a little bit drunk. He's been doing the drinking animation at the table, which is actually how you originally get drunk in Monster Hunter. You don't actually have food and then become drunk. It's the drinking animation on the table, which I believe remains to this day in Monster Hunter games. Alright, I don't have cool drinks, so I'm glad we didn't end up going to a cold location. And I thought that we'd be going to the Kokoto Swamp, but we are not, actually. I don't know where he starts. I'm just going to assume that he starts over in this area. But, yeah, this was a little bit of a surprise. I guess I didn't really check, but usually I do fight this guy in the Kokoto Swamp. And I often fight the regular Khezu here. Now, one thing that I will mention is that normally with greatsword sets, I do have high-grade earplugs. That is an absolute standard for me, but unfortunately in Freedom Unite, it is difficult to get earplugs, particularly high-grade level earplugs, with other skills with a mixed set. It's just unfortunate, but for me, my skills are focus, critical draw, item use improvement, which I suppose is like increased health recovered and things like that. That's my understanding. Like, for example, if I recover health, I get more health and things of that nature. I don't really remember the skill, to be honest. It was a long time ago when I made this set. But yeah, I've also got sharpness +1, so I feel like in terms of my skills, this is pretty good for greatsword. It just so happens that I don't have my favorite skill for greatsword, which is high-grade earplugs, because I feel that it's very important to be able to resist the roar of a monster when you are using a greatsword, because you are always stuck in one place charging your sword up, so to not have that interrupted, in my view, is very important, and a big step to undertake to actually avoid getting interrupted is to avoid all monster roars. But anyway. Ugh. One thing also that I've been doing with the camera is I've been moving it too far down or too far up, because I'm not used to the like the snapping camera, like this thing here where it snaps to different positions. I'm used to like a full, I don't really know how to describe it, I guess a free camera where I can move in whatever, oh Jesus, in whatever wide axis I would prefer. So yeah, unfortunately that didn't become a thing until 4th generation Monster Hunter, so I need to get used to that again. Not so much for myself, but more for presenting the game to you guys. I'm using a water weapon here because Khezu in his red subspecies is weak to water, whereas the regular Khezu is weak to fire. And yeah, it's annoying because I always have to change the decorations for my armor here, because I use the same helmet for my bow sets, but I use 2 short charge jewels in them, whereas with my greatsword set I use an unsheathing jewel. And unfortunately, it wasn't until, I believe, Monster Hunter Tri, or it could have been Portable 3rd, where decorations are automatically swapped based on the equipment sets that you use. Like, let's say, for example, you use the same armor piece in 2 different equipment sets, and in each of those equipment sets you use a different decoration. Well, it doesn't automatically swap them in this game. You do have to manually change your decorations, and I do have to do that when I'm going from some Blade Master sets to Gunner sets, unfortunately. So, there's nothing I can really do about it. And also, some Gunner sets as well use the same decorations. For example, I think I have a flying jewel, which is an evade extender jewel. Oh no, my controller's disconnected. This is not good at all. Fucking hell, I need to go and plug this in. Alright, we are back. I didn't even end up plugging it in. It's just the annoying thing with this freaking controller, and I have the same issue on the Switch, is that sometimes it just straight up disconnects. I've got no idea if that's an issue with Bluetooth. I've got no idea if that's an issue with the controller itself. I mean, obviously it's an issue with Bluetooth, but what I mean is, am I to expect this with all Bluetooth connections, with any controller that I use, or is this controller just acting up? I really don't know. Oh, they're heading, or rather, I don't know if they were expecting to head up here or what, but yeah. If they were anticipating him moving here, then I suppose they've done this monster a little bit more than I have in recent months. I was going to say days, but no, I mean recent days. Of course not recent days. I haven't been playing this game in recent days, but anyway. Should have taken more of an opportunity to do a charge attack there. Had he decided to roar there, I would not have actually been able to... Shit, I didn't do a follow-up attack there. You need specific timing for that. But, yeah, had he decided to roar there, I would have been prevented from attacking, which is annoying. I'm not used to being prevented from attacking by a roar when I'm using a greatsword, so I do unfortunately have to make some concessions when it comes to playing with greatsword in this game. The concession being, at the very least, to put up with being affected by roars, which for me really does hurt my DPS a lot of the time, but anyway. You can see that the Plesioth sword here does not have the regular Plesioth colours. It's sort of like an alternative colour to it. You have the same with Kirin, by the way. With not so much with the weapons, because the weapons do have this colour normally, I guess. But the armor set for Kirin actually changes colour as you go into G rank. It looks like the Orochi Kirin from Monster Hunter 4. But strangely, Orochi Kirin didn't exist in this game. I don't know why they randomly decided to change the colour for the G rank armor set of Kirin, but yeah, it doesn't reflect any actual monster that existed in the series until Monster Hunter 4 or 4 Ultimate. I don't know which of the two games actually had Orochi Kirin first, but yeah, sort of that purpley coloured Kirin that had weird attacks, yeah, that was not a thing that existed in this game, and yet the Kirin armor set looked as if it were made from the Orochi Kirin, so yeah, I'm sure there's a history to that I'm not too familiar with, but yeah. I also have no idea if Orochi Kirin first appeared in Frontier or something. I don't think he did, because they stopped bringing Frontier monsters over to the mainline games, so at least as far as I'm aware, after 2008 when people complained about Hypnok in the community. Ugh. And Lavazioth as well, people complained about that. Because Lavazioth was a Frontier monster originally. I don't know why the Frontier players believed themselves deserving of so many exclusive monsters that they couldn't even allow one or two to enter the mainline series. I mean, come on. I would like to ask why those people don't play the mainline series, because in my opinion, you would only complain about there being monsters in the mainline series from Frontier if you only played Frontier and refused to play the games in the mainline series, because otherwise you'd just be able to enjoy it all the same. I don't know why it had to be one or the other with those people, but whatever. As you can see, I'm not doing too well in terms of health here, but we can fix that fairly quickly. These two guys are going bowgun, as you can see. One of them's using the full White Fatalis set. One issue with Khezu, by the way, and I suppose this isn't too incredible, but because Khezu can't see you, you can't actually dive through any of his attacks. So if you are on the receiving end of that attack that he did before, where he shoots those lightning balls in your direction that can paralyze you, well, perhaps they don't paralyze you, but they definitely deal heavy damage, I can say that. You can't actually dive out of the way of that. You need to position yourself in such a way as to not be hit by them, either by doing a roll or running a lot. But yeah, there's no diving to get out of the way of that, which is why that particular attack, if you are in the wrong position, can be extremely negative for you. And it does hit for very heavy damage in G rank, especially. So you do need to be a little careful with that. Of course, like any weapon type in Monster Hunter Freedom Unite, the Greatsword weapon type becomes a whole lot more simple. Very simple combo. Oh, Vertigo's going for a capture. I wanted to at least flinch him in place, but that did not happen. So it looks like we're going for a capture. I'm just going to ask if, in the Hunsterverse chat, if we are going for a capture. Cap, I'm guessing, I asked. So we need to head to the small area where monsters often sleep in the Snowy Mountains. Of course, they changed the name for this location to something else in Generations Ultimate, but I honestly forgot. Like, for example, the Forest and Hills became the Verdant Hills, but I don't remember the name of this location, because there's a few ice locations in Generations Ultimate. You had the Frozen Seaway, you had the Arctic Ridge. Maybe this was the Arctic Ridge, I don't know. But either way, it seems that we are going for a capture. I have been given confirmation about that. I will help with throwing tranks. Oh, he threw trank shots, I think. Or perhaps not. Either way, that is a captured Red Khezu right there. Didn't take too long because we do have 3 people as opposed to 2. which is always good. I say as opposed to 2 because I wasn't sure if we were actually going to get 3 for this hunt, but it turned out that Vertigo was waiting for a friend, so that worked out rather well. I do prefer to 3-man monsters instead of 2-man, especially in G-Rank. But like most Monster Hunter games, if you do 4-man, even a G-Rank level monster, if everyone's got G-Rank equipment, the monster doesn't really last too long, because 4 people with G-Rank armor and equipment, yeah, not too much can actually stop that team in its tracks, except for some Elder Dragon fights in this game I've found. And Fatalis. Obviously Fatalis will not be killed swiftly with a group of 4. I would say a group of 4 is an absolute minimum, which, I mean, obviously you can't have more than 4 people, but yeah. If you do it with 3 people, you're really going to feel it with Fatalis. Fatalis is a nasty experience. I keep accidentally doing that camera angle, which is really annoying. I don't intend to do that. The problem with that is that you can't see anything when I do that, and it's quite disrupting to the viewing experience, I think. So I'm going to try and not do that, you know. We'll see what we get in this reward box. We've got some heavy monster bones, strong alluring wing. The word strong, STR, indicates that it's a G-rank item. Lightning sack, I believe, is just a high rank item. But anyway, I'll see you guys in the next hunt. Alright, so we are about to do a monster that is going to get absolutely slammed to the ground, because it is a high rank monster. I don't believe that there is actually a G-rank version. I could be wrong, but these guys are posting the high rank version and they're all G-rank, so maybe there is only a high rank one. But this monster, with the quest title The Beating of Royal Wings, is a monster that a lot of people haven't fought, and only some people have seen. But the monster is called Vespoid Queen, and she is really dumb. Most people, when they play this game for the first time, hear about the Vespoid Queen and say, wow, I really have to fight her. And then they fight her and they realize that they probably will never fight her again because it's a waste of time to do so. And for very good reason, she is a boring hunt. And often a rather quick hunt as well, because she is the Vespoid Queen. She does not have that much health. She's stronger than a Vespoid, but not that much stronger. She's a strange hunt. Basically, the way you start the hunt off is you kill a bunch of Vespoids. And once you've killed enough, I don't know exactly how many you need to kill, but yeah, she will appear once you have killed a sufficient number of Vespoids. I don't believe it's timed. I believe she will only come down when you have killed enough Vespoids, which makes sense, I guess. She's coming down to defend her brethren or something like that. Anyway, it is what it is, and again, I'm pressing down to frickin' give you the worst camera angle possible, and I'm not doing this intentionally. It's just what it is. So I'm just going to go around and start off this hunt by killing a bunch of Vespoids. Not the most exciting way to start a quest, but unfortunately it is what needs to be done. It is only the beginning of the boredom when it comes to this quest. I mean, maybe it's not boring to actually fight Vespoid Queen, but once the thing's dead, you will definitely be left less than impressed by the overall experience, because, you know, giant Vespoid sounds fun, right? No, not really. It's quite a letdown. But I guess I'm not really selling it so well, am I? I will let you guys come up with your own opinions in regards to the Vespoid Queen fight. That is a slightly larger Vespoid than usual, I will not deny. I'm using my Evade Lance set here. I have 2 Lance sets for some frickin' reason. One is a Guard Lance set, and the other one is an Evade Lance set. And let me say that Evade Lance is really the only way to play Lance in this game. By the way, triangle and circle at the same time is the charging button in this game. Or, well, it's not really a button, it's a series of buttons, but yeah. Anyway, I have Feline Blunt Force, hell yeah, not. But you can see my skills here are Attack Up Large, Evade +2, and ESP. Looks like Vespoid Queen has come down, so let's go and say hello. It's always good to have one person there ready to fight. Einar is twice pinging. He is absolutely, I don't know, overflowing with excitement if he's pinging twice. Quick, come and hunt the monster. I mean, to be fair, we will kill this thing pretty fast, so it's good if people come as soon as possible. Either way, I maybe should have used a high rank weapon. I don't even know if I've got a high rank weapon, but yeah, hello. This is Vespoid Queen. A giant Vespoid, literally. just with a particularly large abdomen. And this attack here, I don't know what that does. I think it, yeah, it gives you defense down. That sounds about right. Also, we are getting assaulted by regular Vespoids, which is understandable also, because we are attacking the Queen. Someone is attempting to poison Vespoid Queen, which is a little bit unnecessary. But, yeah. I think, yeah, she's been poisoned, look at that. And the place where she is poisoned, I think, is coming from her body rather than from her head. I'm used to it coming from the head of a monster, but anyway. Yeah, this is... someone's shooting thunder, and I believe that the primary weakness is fire with this monster. I really am, you know, over the top in terms of my... Jesus, can you guys stop hitting me? But yeah, my level of preparation here is a bit extreme because I not only have a very strong weapon, which is a Teostra weapon, I also have fire, which is a very damaging element for this monster. If you do look at the weaknesses of Vespoid... oh, yeah, that's Vespoid Queen, everyone. You know the most gross thing about this monster? It's the twitching at the end. Look at this, and the way the mouth keeps moving, that's disgusting. Anyway, I find this monster to be an absolute abomination, to be honest. But yeah, and 2 calms. They got rid of 2 calms after 2nd generation, but certain monsters in 2nd generation and 1st generation only give you 2 materials when you carve. And, well, they only let you carve twice, that is to say. And the monsters that only do that are Kirin, the drone monsters, Vespoid Queen. So, basically any monster that carries over into 3rd or 4th generation, for the most part 4th generation, that previously gave 2 calves will instead give you 3, because they decide that 3 should be the minimum. And I can understand that. If you go to the trouble of hunting something like a Kirin, I think you deserve 3 calves, you know. And I suppose Elder Dragons are usually 4, so they decide, well, 3 instead of 4 for a Kirin is enough of a reduction. 2 is a bit of an insult. But anyway, that is Vespoid Queen, everyone. Extremely exciting, to say the least. And I do say that with utmost sarcasm. I swear there should be a G rank, or maybe there's not. Maybe they decided that Vespoid Queen is such a waste of time of a monster that they didn't even... You know what it probably is? He's probably from Freedom 2 and they didn't make a Freedom Unite one. That's probably why there's only a high rank one. Which makes sense to me. I would say that Vespoid Queen is not worth having a version in G rank. But if there were a G rank version, I think it would be a little bit more fun because he wouldn't die quite so fast, or she wouldn't die quite so fast. Either way, I'll see you guys in the next time.